whatever. I mean, there's a lot of foods I hate, so I can't really speak.
Onions are the worst food. Like
I think pickles are like literally Satan reincarnated.
dill pickles are delicious.
All, yes, every pickle doesn't matter.
Pickle?
Every pickle.
In what world is an onion better than a pickle?
My little fucked up world.
All right then. What about like a cucumber?
Maybe I don't seek them out, but like if they're there, I'll eat them.
See, they're more fucked up.
No, it's not. It's normal. Things are weird. They're so weird. But zucchini's awesome.
Okay, zucchini's gross as shit.
Oh, dude, I had some baller ass zucchini last night.
Said no one ever.
It says me and Kieran.
Okay.
Just saying. I'll send you a picture. It's great. Because I had it with like that hanger steak. Oh,
A steak now. A steak looked good.
yeah, it turned out surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I was blown away by it. Then I won boyfriend points by letting Kieran take the leftovers to lunch.
Smart.
So, every so often I have a heart. Most of the time it's like a void right here.
Until you have steak and then you're like, oh, it starts beating.
Eat the rest of it, honey. And then Jared's like, you don't seem like yourself. Yeah, I know. I'm angry. All I have is Impossible Burgers. It's not doing the job.
Why are you so unhappy, man? Eating Impossible Burgers every day this week.
I haven't had one in a while. I was going to go to a sandwich shop around the corner and get one, but we'll get a sandwich. I wasn't going to get the Impossible Burger there, but we'll see.
Should get like the real fucking burger.
No, I had Burger King's Impossible Whopper yesterday just because I was out doing errands.
So why are you doing those because you prefer them for health reasons or for the environment reasons? By the way, we've been alive for a while, just in case you didn't notice.
No, I know. And we should keep all this in there just because.
Yeah, let's do this.
And then we can do like a real intro, like 5 minutes in, so like suck people in. And be like, this is talk about something good. And it's like, no.
This is much better than nerd shit.
Yeah, way better. No, I mean, talking to Phil and just being around Phil has got me like trying to change a couple different things. So like, I've started moving to like reduce my single-use plastic bags and stuff. Like I bought like reusable little like vegetable bags, so when I go to a grocery store, I can just use those instead of the little plastic bags. And then I have like the last pair of shoes I bought are like technically vegan. So
can you eat them?
I don't know. I should try.
You should.
Is that offensive to vegan?
Is it?
I don't know.
No, I don't mean eat the vegans. I mean eat the shoes.
I don't think vegan people are tasty, so I'm not going to.
This tastes like Impossible Burger.
Welcome to episode 72 of the PHP Town Hall. I'm Matt, and this is Ben, and we are just catching up tonight. We'll be talking about PHP stuff, non-PHP stuff, how vegans taste, and why I'm eating Impossible Burgers. So, Ben, how's it going?
This episode of the PHP Town Hall is brought to you by 4 Roses.
And a water bottle.
Disappoint me.
Yeah, well, my lungs are saying other things right now.
Let's keep going on that because I haven't fought with Phil in a long time, and I feel like he's going to message me after this. So,
I mean, I can make him message you after this.
Can you convince me that you eating Impossible Burgers and hating your life actually does more than like you get an interview with, I don't know, fucking IBM or Google or some shit, and then you turn it down and tell them it's because they're not helping the environment enough? And then like 4,000 engineers do that, and then they help the environment just a little bit, and that does more than everyone not enjoying every meal for the rest of their life.
I mean, so one, I've enjoyed the Impossible Burgers that I've had, but I definitely don't hate my life. Well, no, that's not true. I definitely hate my life, but I hate it a little bit less. Only because like every time I eat an Impossible Burger, I don't feel like like that garbage, greasy feeling in your stomach.
So it feels lighter.
It's a little bit lighter, yeah. not as greasy, so like, it's not as much of a mess when you're eating it. Which, if you're out and about or something, you don't want to have to like grease hands or whatever.
Look at that nice like greasy food cleanse afterwards, though.
No, well, I mean, it's what hot chicken's for.
So is hot chicken better somehow than a burger?
No, oh god, hell yeah, hot chicken, dude. Hot chicken is the best thing to ever happen to my life.
I don't mean taste wise, obviously taste wise. I mean like for the environment.
It was actually it's definitely not better for the environment. I mean, I'm not necessarily convinced that Impossible Burgers are totally better for the environment. There's still like the whole transporting them from point A to point B. That's carbon emissions, and then all the cooking and all that kind of stuff. Like, so I mean, it's obviously not like a silver bullet to the whole environment, but it's a step in a direction. Because cows are like one of the worst offenders for climate change. So like, if you can just lessen your dependency on them, then little by little by little, stuff eventually adds up. It's like the same thing we talked about, our finance podcast, like 4 or 5, 8 months ago, however long that was. We're like, we're talking about budgeting. And it's like tracking your spending and figuring out where like every single dollar is. And it's like once you figure out, like if you're spending $10 a day on lunch, 5 times, it's $50. $50 times 52 weeks is 2,500, give or take. And then like you lessen your lunch outings by 1, and you're saving $500 a year, and you can take that money and kind of do something else with it. So, it's not a silver bullet. It's like, the same thing as like reducing my single-use plastics. It's not going to solve the problem, but it's a step in the right direction, and it shows other people that can be done. So, when we were talking on the APIs You Won't Hate podcast, we were saying, like the Impossible Burger like has like a $5 or $6 upcharge in most bars here in Nashville. So like a regular burger is like $12 to $15 depending on the restaurant you go to, which is stupid. It's stupid to pay $15 for a burger, and then you got to pay like the $5 extra to get the Impossible Burger. But like, like I'm willing to swallow that one, so demand goes up, so that way people will buy more and hopefully drive the price down, so it becomes more accessible. So
could you do the math on like which is better, a regular burger and then buying $5 in trees?
$5 in what?
Trees.
Pot,
Matthew.
I don't know. I'll ask Phil. I'll make Phil do the math.
That would be interesting though, like to actually figure out where your dollars are best served in that way.
I mean, it would be. I mean, I think it's also in a little bit of like weird like places not to put your dollars, like try not to fly as much as you can. Like that seems to be a big one. Although it kind of
so I actually think Phil's argument there kind of makes sense, right? Like, so maybe it takes you 20 hours more, but you can work on the train. You can kind of like, just hang out. I don't know if that would do it most of the time, just because that's like it's a big lifestyle commitment, and Phil has a more flexible lifestyle than most people. But
like everybody,
yeah. But it's a good argument, right? That like, the train doesn't necessarily stop you from doing other things the way the plane does.
No, I mean there's a rumor that they're going to start pushing for Amtrak from Memphis to Nashville to Chattanooga to Atlanta, and like I'm hugely in support of that, because every time I go visit my parents, they say it would take 6.5 hours to go from Nashville to Atlanta, but like if you ever drive that route, Chattanooga is going to find a way to like just fuck your life up. And, like what should be a 4-hour drive on Google turns into a 6-hour drive. And so what's an extra half an hour where I don't have to worry about driving? I can work, I can read, I can sleep, I can do whatever I want to.
Yeah, right. And then you're driving, you want to stop for a piss break or a snack or something just because it's boring.
Or, like you get a cop on the side of the road who's bored and just wants to, give you a hard time. So just personally, like, if we had more trains, I'd be all about it. But that's probably not gonna happen until after I die, so it'll be cool. I'll make sure they put tracks like over my grave.
Let's spread your ashes off a train.
That'd be kind of cool. If you did it like near Yosemite, that'd be really awesome.
That would be cool. I feel like trains will go there last though because it's just so wide open.
There's a train trip you can take over like it's like a national parks one. It does like Yosemite, Sequoia, all the way up to Yellowstone.
Wait, does it actually go there? Or does it just go to like Jackson Hole or some shit?
I'll have to look. I don't know. It's been a minute since I looked at it, but
That's pretty cool.
I mean, the stops were labeled Yosemite, Sequoia, Grand Teton, Yellowstone. So maybe.
Information.
Yeah, I would do it. I mean, up in your area, because you're in Boston now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have trains going all over the place up there.
Yeah. Which is very nice to at least have the option.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, what's a train ride to New York City from, like, 4 hours?
Yeah, it's what there's like two options. There's a fast one and a slow one. The fast one's like a little less than 4, and the slow one's about 6.
It's not all that bad, really.
No, it's not. It's like it's a 4-hour drive, and then stops and traffic and all that, especially traffic in New York. You're looking at 5 to 6.
Yeah. Have y'all done that yet?
We've done the drive. We went down for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
I did the train from New York to Boston a few years back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It's kind of nice.
Nice. So I think the last time we did one of these episodes, we had Phil and we had Amanda on here too.
We did. When was that?
Millions.
It's been at least like 6 months, right?
All
All the hosts, episode 62 in February.
So it's been almost a year since we've done something like this.
It has.
I wonder if Amanda's still alive.
I believe she is. I talk to her occasionally, every couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, I hear from her like once upon a time. It's usually like music stuff. She hates talking about tech now. So
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah, we do. But I think everyone who listens to this should message Amanda and just say hi. Nothing else. Just hi. Just hi.
Hi.
No, but you've changed jobs in the last year, haven't you?
Oh, lots happened in the last year, man. Since February, I got married, changed jobs.
Oh, that's right. You did get married.
To Boston.
You had like a super secret wedding on some island.
And you were not invited.
I know I wasn't invited.
Just didn't want you there.
That's a good thing. No one should want me in a wedding.
No one was invited. Dominican Republic before it got scary. And it was fun. It was just me and her on the beach, a little ceremony. And then we honeymooned for several days.
Wait, so did you not have any like witnesses there? Like, how does that work? Is it legal?
The hotel supplies them. So it's actually funny. So it was all like done through the hotel, and they supplied a minister or officiator or whatever it was. But he I guess got the wrong paper, and so he started off the ceremony with the wrong names, and we're both like, wait. And then we let our wedding party pick out the song, and so not like there were 3 songs. There was one to come down the aisle, one to dance to, and then one to come back down the aisle for.
Yeah,
but we didn't think about the one to come back down the aisle to, so we had nothing planned, and they asked us about it while we were down there.
Yeah,
and so we let the wedding party decide, and I believe it was Jose Gonzalez Savant on Twitter. I think he pushed for Circle of Life from the Lion King. So we let them vote, and that won. So that's what we came back down the aisle to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
If I ever get married, I'm doing that.
It's better than all of his other choices because a lot of them were like Spanish booty songs I didn't know, but had very explicit lyrics.
How's that any different from anything else?
And so I moved to a new job at Wayfair. Started in December, and moved to Boston for that. So it's been really cool. It's been very different than what I'm used to, right? So like before I was at a startup, small company, fully remote, and I've been remote for 10 years. You okay, Matt?
No, I'm dying.
And yeah, so I moved here, a huge company, working in an office for the first time in a while. And I'm working on the PHP platforms team. So I'm like specifically honed in on making PHP better for the engineers there, which they have over 1,000 PHP engineers. So it's really easy to like gain leverage, and what we do affects a lot of people. It's been really fun so far.
So I mean, like, are you working on like a tooling chain for them? Is that kind of what you're like building up, like better test suites and stuff like that, or like what kind of stuff are you doing?
So there's like a lot of parts to it. There's Roxy behind me. I'm under infra, so we're an infrastructure team, and the goal is to just make the full life cycle developing PHP better, and kind of whatever that means. So a lot of that'll be like education, consulting with other teams to help them just write more modern, better PHP in general.
Oh, cool.
Developing like libraries and tools for them, and then a lot of kind of high level things like how do we decouple PHP apps from the monolith into decoupled applications, right? And helping teams do that all along the path. And then like loading pipelines and the linters and static analyzers and all that kind of stuff for the full pipeline.
So like is there a framework that y'all use, or is it all just kind of components glued together, or like just a massive mix? Because I can imagine like 1,000 engineers.
Yeah, it can be a little chaotic. So there's a lot of legacy still, right? Like I'm not gonna lie, like it can be a little messy. There's like a Wayfair framework, which is the old legacy stuff, but the new stuff is all in either Slim or Symfony for the most part.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like our team in particular supports Symfony, but a lot of the other teams have Slim as well, and we don't like enforce anything for the most part. Like the general idea is that we just enable people to do what they're doing well.
Yeah. So like, does this require you to like deep dive into the Symfony framework and all that kind of stuff, or like, are you kind of you don't really have to do that kind of stuff?
Not that kind of stuff too much. I mean, occasionally we'll kind of consult on how to do something the best way, but a lot of it's like best practices or fixing and organizational, like, how do I use this inside Symfony, or how do I wire this library in, stuff like that.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool. And so, I mean, like, how's life in the office? I mean, you've been remote for as long as I've known you, I think.
The most surprising thing to me was just how, like, really fucking tired I was for the first few weeks. Like, it's a combination of two things. So I was getting up earlier than I've gotten up in years, right? So I've been trying to start my day around 8:30. So most people get in the office around 8 to 10, somewhere in there. But our team is half in Berlin, so I'm trying to start earlier so we have the overlap. And that's been painful because I'm like a 10 a.m. kind of guy, right? So just getting used to that and like adjusting my schedule. Like I can't go to bed at 2 anymore. I have to go to bed about like 11 pretty solidly. And then I'm commuting in, which is an adjustment. And I think just like being around people more and being more social, and like the noise in the office was just really tiring until I got used to it, right? It was just like, it was a lot going on. Now that I got more used to it, it's that's pretty much leveled out. That's better. And I'd actually say overall, which I'm kind of surprised by, I think I like working in the office better. At least multiple days a week, because I really like the social interaction. Like it feels like way less isolating, which remote was really starting to feel pretty isolating.
No, I mean, like, that's what I noticed now that I'm remote, is I'm like, I don't have anyone to talk to during the day. And it like me, like I can just shut myself into my apartment for weeks on end and like forget what day it is, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to go talk to people and like.
You have to be like really intentional about that, because it's not good for your mental health.
No, it's not good at all. I mean, like fortunately, like Karen comes over like 4 or 5 times a week, and we'll go out to dinner or stuff. But I'll also like make sure I go to coffee shops and go out to lunch way more than I probably should, just so I have like, social interaction. I know the coffee people don't care about my emotions and my mental health, but just talking to them for 5 minutes does help, kind of thing.
Yeah, Yeah, it definitely does help.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's nice to have other people to collaborate with in person.
Yo, yeah.
Because I would try to do all that stuff, but it's still different. Like I would have co-working spaces or whatever, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not quite the same because you would like go to the co-working space and kind of work alone all day still, and like have some conversations, but it was not the same. I imagine eventually I'll get like, I need to work from home a little bit to have some peace and quiet. But right now, I'm really enjoying the office.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like remote's encouraged as well. So like, I get to work from home when I want to for the most part, so I can kind of
that's nice.
do both.
Yeah. So I mean, you've been there for like what now, a month or so, I think.
Yeah, almost 2 months now, month and a half.
Nice.
And
And
so still definitely the honeymoon period, right?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It's working out pretty well.
You're still within they can fire you for pretty much anything, period. So.
Well, let's hope not.
Well, yeah, obviously, but yeah, just saying.
Any day now.
Any day now. That one time you overshare and they're like, nope, get the fuck out.
Ben, you can't use 20 F words in one meeting. Like, too much. Too many F words.
You can only use 19 today.
Yeah, another good part is I'm going to be trying to get even more active in the PHP community. So I'm like upping my speaking this year and stuff like that, since like actually PHP coding is a part of my normal day to day again.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice.
So you got accepted to tech. I saw. Where else are you speaking?
So I got Midwest in what is that? That is in April, and then tech in May.
Yep.
And we'll see what else comes along. So that's actually like, past couple of years that would have been my quota for the year. But this year I'm still going to look for another couple probably before the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I think last year you did one conference. No, you did two.
I think I did two. Yeah, two's about been like what I've been aiming for, just because more than that can be pretty tiring if you're doing it's like an ancillary thing to work. So actually having like, this is kind of sort of part of my day job. So we're going to help with that.
Yeah. I mean, I did 5 conferences last year and it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Brutal. And I think I've only submitted to one conference this year and I didn't even get accepted. I'm kind of like, no, that's cool. I'm pretty happy not.
It's kind of like you feel guilty if you don't, or you feel like you should, right?
Yeah.
You kind of realize when it doesn't happen.
Well, when I was at Sunshine last year, like I was talking to Cal about it for a little bit, because he's like, certain people have, larger than life personalities and they kind of dominate the conference. So it's good to like take a break. And I was like, that seems like the perfect excuse I can use to take a break. And so I was like, I'm going to take 2020 off or whatever. And then I got supposed to get a PHP South Wales or PHP Wales, whatever it is. But that one seems to have fallen through, sadly. So I have no conferences.
I was supposed to go to that one too, which I was pretty disappointed that they had to scale back the conference or cancel, or I think they're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I was like, I was talking to him, trying to give him a little bit of advice about some things he could do to kind of boost sales and stuff, but just looks like the sponsorships weren't there and the tickets weren't really coming in the way that they wanted it to. So, I mean, it sucks, but hopefully, hopefully it comes back next year. Like he can kind of retool things, make it a little bit better. Because I know now, like, there's kind of like a decline in conferences, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it'd be nice to have some new conferences kind of starting to pop up.
It's kind of a weird year in PHP conferences, right? Because so many have just shut down over the last year or two that it's, I can think off the top of my head, probably like 5 in the US. But like, I want to say 2 years ago, there's probably 10 easily.
I mean, so the ones that are still going, Midwest, Sunshine, Tech, World, Longhorn, supposedly.
Oh yeah, Longhorn. Forgot about that one.
Like I messaged them because I was looking for their CFP, and I think Daniel was having a kid around this time again. So they bumped it back out to October. So that's why I haven't seen a CFP from them. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Cascadia. I love that conference, but yeah, it is what it is. So I mean, it's good to kind of have like a thinning every so often, and then kind of let people see what works, what doesn't, and kind of come back up with it. So
yeah, I don't think it'd be bad overall. It's just kind of different.
no, it is. I mean, it's definitely different because I mean, when I started, there was like ski PHP was still a thing. True North was still a thing. Seattle or Pacific Northwest PHP, and then I don't think there's anything or Wave PHP.
Also, Open West used to be a lot more PHP centric than it is now.
Was it? I've never heard that one.
There's
ZenCon. That one's dead.
Yeah, ZenCon's a big one.
Yeah. They have like Sunshine and Midwest if you want like the community run ones, and they got Tech and World for the bigger production.
Yeah,
it'd be cool. I mean, you should come to Tech because it's in Nashville, so you can hang out with me.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Hot chicken.
Yeah, hot chicken palooza. Woo!
So what's new with you? It's been a year. What's happened?
What happened in the last? Shush. Yeah. So I got laid off from Open Sky. A bunch of us did, so that was really fun.
Ooh.
I mean, it is what it is. And then like a week later, I had another job, so that was pretty cool.
Yay!
Yay! And I mean, like that's all thanks to like Twitter and like you and everyone else telling people to hire me because people took that seriously. And then I had offers within a week, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Talk about that a little bit. That was pretty cool the way you like kind of structured it and just hit that so hard and so quick, right?
Yeah, like looking back on it, I kind of wish I'd done it differently. So like they came in on a Tuesday, and like we were just like debating lunch, and they're like, yeah, everyone's being laid off, and we're like, okay, well that sucks. And so in between that announcement and getting like the severance paperwork and all that kind of stuff, I just sent out like a quick tweet, and I was just like, hey, I'm looking for my next challenge. Remote or Nashville, whatever, just, please retweet it. And then thanks to like you and David Stanley and a bunch of other people who I haven't seen to piss off yet in this community, all kind of helped me out. And I was leaving the office with people messaging me in my DMs like, hey, we want to talk to you. And I'm like,
that's cool.
I was like, oh, holy shit. Okay, cool. Yeah. And I was like, I should give myself like 24 hours to be depressed about this whole thing because, like it sucks to be laid off. It's no fun. So like I went home and worked on my resume for a little bit and then bought Avengers Endgame. And I was like, I'll just watch this and, like really resonate with like Fat Thor, which, really was good. And then I went to like a cycling group ride and I felt really bad because I had like all these emotions and I was like pissed off about being laid off and like worried about what's going to happen. So like I was in charge of the slower group and I just dragged their asses through Nashville. Like we were like averaging 20 miles an hour and these were like slower people. And I'm just like, you got to keep up. We're going. I'm dealing with shit. And so, yeah. And then like the very next day, Wednesday, like I started having interviews. And so I kind of wish in retrospect I'd waited until Monday to do everything. Just like give me a
minute to reset.
Yeah, give me a minute to reset. Give me a minute to like think about like what do I even want to do? Like, do I want to say PHP? Do I want to go to a different language? Do I care about framework? Like my lease is ending in a couple months. Like this is a chance for me to leave Nashville if I wanted to. But so
obviously you're like Laravel only. Anything else can go just fuck off.
No, yeah, 100%. I had someone come and ask me if I wanted to do like Zen, and I was like, I don't know what that is, and so obviously that's not how that happened. What's funny, like, so of all the PHP jobs I had, one was Zen, but more component stack, not like an actual framework. 3 or 4 that I talked to were Laravel. None were Symfony, funny enough. And then I think one or two were like component, just strictly component based, nothing official either way. So I wasn't going for Laravel. It just happened that's.
I find that interesting that you got like. I would have definitely thought Laravel and Symfony all day long, but I wouldn't have thought like Zend or component based that much.
The component based one was like it's for an older project with people I'd really like to work for one day. But I think the project's been around for 10 plus years. So obviously, like back then, I think Zend was kind of like the big thing. So it is what it is. And I had an offer for TypeScript as well over at Stoplight with Phil, and then I had a few other things, and it just worked out that like people were interested in what I had to offer, and so they sped things along. Pretty much every interview like felt like every good interview I had felt like a conversation of like friends, not interviewing. No one
That's
liked
what I felt in the interviewing process, right? Like you go to a lot of these companies and it felt like a real interrogation, and I just walked out like, yeah. I don't want to work with you, right? Like,
right.
I don't have a good impression of you now, and I think a lot of companies like they feel like that's a good thing. Like, oh, I'm smart. I asked you a lot of hard questions, but like, it's not a good look.
No, especially if I have to spend 40 hours of my week with you. Like, I don't want to hate you or feel like I'm inferior to you in any sort of way. Like, I don't want to necessarily be your best friend, but I would like to be able to go to an all hands meeting with you and not hang out with you for 15 minutes and then like desperately look for any way to get away from you either.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that like the company that I eventually went with, like every single interview felt like we had been friends for years and we were just kind of catching up instead of them interrogating me about anything. So, and it really showed through too, because so it's a completely remote company based out of Lubbock, Texas, which is the smallest city I've ever been to in my entire life.
It's random as fuck.
So their airport has 9 gates, not 9 terminals, 9 gates. Like, think about that first. Like, you're on mute, by the way.
It's like the bathrooms at ATL.
I think the bathrooms at I think the men's room on the D concourse in ATL has more stalls than Lubbock's airport does gates.
Nice.
So like there's one.
Could you have to jump through Dallas?
Do what?
Can you fly straight into Lubbock, or do you have to jump through Dallas?
No, I had to go through Dallas, and then on the way out, I had to go through Austin. So it wasn't like, dear God, this hurts. It wasn't like the worst thing ever. Like Dallas was okay. It was super early in the morning when we went through Dallas, so I wasn't really paying attention. When I got to Austin, it was funny. It was like the gate was like right close to the one I left for Longhorn or whatever. So, I was like, oh, I remember this restaurant. This one was good, and I'll go eat there again. So it worked out pretty well. But like when we had the all hands meeting, I've been remote since I started in August, and so like we had our all hands, and it really just felt like I wasn't like the new person on the team or anything. And meeting the CTO and the all the other people, it really felt like friends. We're just getting together, really. So, like, I don't know like how other people can attain that level of interviewing, but it's definitely like the best way to do it.
Yeah, I always try to look at them as like it's a lot of it's mindset, right? Like if your mindset is like, I'm going to quiz you to figure out if you can pass this test, it makes that kind of dynamic. But if you can come to it as like, let's collaborate to figure out if you're a good fit and we're a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Change that dynamic a lot.
So, yeah, I mean, like one thing that really stood out about this company was, so they were the second offer that I received. There was a team in Nashville who interviewed me, and they really liked me, and they wanted to bring me on as well. And they sent me, like, I interviewed with the CTO on Wednesday. Like, this is gonna sound egotistical, but I fit him in like a little slot of time I had in between all the other interviews, and then the CEO and one of the other guys like wanted to meet me, and they tried to meet me that night, and I was like, no, we'll meet tomorrow. So we went to a coffee shop on a Thursday, and again, it was one of those interviews where like it was really just friends talking and hanging out. But then they sent me an offer on Friday, and like that was the first offer I had, so like it sucked for them because I'm in a position to pass on offers. Like I'm not dying for a job at this very moment. But I also didn't want to be a dick to all the other companies I was talking to. Like I want to hear them out. And also like I just don't want to close any doors. And so I messaged them back. I'm like, hey, thank you for this. Looks great. Can I have like they wanted an answer on Wednesday of the next week.
That's pretty tight for like an exploding offer kind of time frame.
And I asked for like I was like, can you just extend this till Friday?
It's like 1 week.
1 week, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, I just asked for 2 extra days. That's all I really wanted. Because I kind of got the feeling that more offers were going to start coming in, so I wanted to be able to like sit down and look at them all. And they replied, they're like, "No, we can't give you more time. Like, we need an answer." I was like, "Well, okay, this is easy. I'm out."
Yeah, high pressure isn't a good tactic.
No, and like I don't thrive well under like that kind of high pressure either. And so I was just like, well, I mean, if you're that desperate to bring people in, like, is it going to be a shit show?
Yeah. If you can't wait 2 more days, then it's probably a bad sign.
Yeah. So, but, on the reverse, so the current company gave me an offer on Monday. Like, I pretty much finished the interview with them. And then an hour later, I had it in my inbox. And I sent them back a message like, this looks awesome. It was great talking to y'all. And they didn't even put a deadline on it. As far as I remember, I'm like, I'll have an answer for you on Friday. I want to finish the rest of these interviews and kind of give everyone else the same time. And I think one of them like sent me back kind of like a snarky, like, oh man, we really have to wait until Friday. Haha. And I was like, he's like, no, seriously. Like we really respect what you're doing. We want you to do the best for you. We understand what you're going through. So there's no pressure. Take as much time as you need. We'll be here to talk when you're ready. And I was like, oh, well, that's refreshing. So yeah, it's just really weird, like how interviewing's changed over the last 5 years, both like in good ways and in bad ways. So
I definitely felt that, right? Like, I don't know, it's a lot more, like I call it like the Google algorithms and system design. It really felt like people are quizzing me nonstop than ever before in my career when I interviewed places.
Yeah, I wasn't really quizzed anywhere. Like the hardest thing to get by, I think at this point was like that bland HR screen or like the tech recruiter. So, I mean, it's going to sound egotistical, but like the interviews I did really well with were people who found me on Twitter, thanks to like you and everyone else retweeting me, because those interviews were just chill. It was the ones where like the tech recruiter, the HR recruiter has no idea what I'm actually doing. And they're just asking you questions that you're just kind of like, why do you want a job? Well, I really want money.
I like to eat.
Yeah. I have a condition where I require steroids on a daily basis, and I need this thing called money to buy the steroids to keep me
We
alive.
only hire for passion here, not money.
Yeah. But I mean, even like those interviews are so boring that it's like it's hard to even find passion to, like it can't even fake it to make it sound like I'm passionate about the job. It's kind of like, just get me to the next step, and then the passion will come out. But
the hard part too with those is like they can always tell you so little about the job or the team, and it's like I don't even know if I give a shit yet. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean that was the good interviews were like talked about the team, the culture, how I was going to fit in, what's going to happen, where they see my strengths playing a big role, like where they think they can help kind of like bridge the gap with my weaknesses that I was open about, like how they're gonna help me when I'm sitting in a bathtub crying because I'm so tired and I don't know how to do things in Laravel or whatever, you know. So those are the interviews that like were the best, I think. I may have cried a few times this week.
Laravel makes you cry, is what I heard.
Really does. Really, it's all just one big facade of emotions.
Well, I was trying to figure out some kind of pun on facade, and I just couldn't get there.
I mean, yeah, it's a massive facade of emotions, and I just hide behind all the aliases that they use to access all of the deep emotions forged in my core. That only things that like Envoyer can really dig up. Kind of lost there at the end.
Does the vapor from the hot water bath help you deal with that?
The vapor really helps me create a homestead. So it gives me a place to dwell at night with my thoughts. There goes our Laravel sponsorship.
Probably, just keep tinkering with it and you'll eventually figure out how to use it well.
Probably. I had to set her up a WordPress site the other day. That was interesting. I've like never start to finish on a WordPress site before, so that was fun.
No, I haven't used WordPress in years, but it's something.
I'll tell you what though, like the weird, like I don't know if it's the weirdest thing, but like the way the WordPress community does their things and the way the Laravel community does things versus like against the PHP community is like such a night and day difference that like it's really shocking to go to like a WordCamp or something and then just watch Laravel people on Twitter. Sometimes it's interesting. See all that go down.
Yeah, should probably walk the talk more, but I am a big proponent of like PHP needs to include WordPress people more, just because like they are our biggest user. Like we shouldn't alienate them as much as we do.
I mean, so I crashed WordCamp US when it was here in Nashville. And then I went to WordCamp Kent to speak 2 years ago now? Yeah, 2 years ago. So never once did anyone mention like feeling alienated. But because especially up in Kent, it's a very tight-knit community of people who are all kind of doing WordPress things up there. And so like I was kind of like the new person on the block, and so people would come up and talk to me and be like, "So what do you do with WordPress?" I'm like, "Well, I really don't do anything with WordPress. I'm just here to speak on mental health. My day job does Symfony, and then in my free time projects I do like Laravel." I'm like, "That's so cool." Like they were more interested in like what I was doing and trying to be inclusive to bringing me into their group than almost anything. Like we went out and did like a developers lunch, and multiple people were asking me like, what do I like about Symfony? What do I like about Laravel? Have I ever used WordPress? Would I use WordPress? How do I get started with Laravel or Symfony if I've only known WordPress? So like there's such a bridge that wants to be finished there. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see us alienating people as much as it used to be, but there's definitely still a little bit of friction to try and bring WordPress people into like the greater PHP community for sure.
Yeah, well, that's cool that you had that experience. It's good to hear, right? It's definitely got better.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm I might be an outlier. I don't know. Like I may have just got a really friendly group of people who wanted to talk to me, and other WordPress people were like, "No, fuck you guys. We don't want to talk to you." And I
think it's probably more the other way around, right? It's probably more like PHP people looking down on WordPress people. There's
yeah.
Like, how do you use WordPress?
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny. Like, it's like if you trash WordPress, people are just kind of like, "Yeah, but it works for me, so I'm cool with it," and then they go on with their lives. Whereas, like, if you trash Laravel, like knives come out and people are like hunt you down, and like if Taylor dies tomorrow, like feel like it might be as big as Kobe dying. Rest in peace.
Get on that, please.
So, was it? I mean, obviously it's gonna be too late for when we release this, but in an hour they're showing his final game on ESPN, like his 60-pointer.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's on YouTube, so you can just go watch it. But Do what?
I just said yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Fun fact. So you can go on YouTube and find it. You can also, as I found out today, you can also go on YouTube and watch. Someone uploaded the radar of the helicopter flying around.
Mm,
Yeah. So, well, I may have watched that one.
okay, moving on. So you're still in Nashville. You talked about moving. What are the plans there? Are you staying put? Are you moving? What's the deal?
I mean, a lot of that depends on my girlfriend Karen's situation. She has an office job
Also,
here.
that's new in the last year, right? The girlfriend.
Yeah, like we just hit 6 months and I still haven't fucked it up. So,
Any day now.
dude, even my mom texted me the other day and she's like, "Are you and Kieran still good?" I'm like, "Damn, come on, not that
That's
bad."
awesome.
So, no, I mean, yeah, we've talked about it. Like, she's from Minneapolis, like the Minneapolis area. She likes Portland. I've also brought up Atlanta, just because I like Atlanta. I know everyone else loves to shit on Atlanta, but I love it. But it all really depends on her and her job. She doesn't like being remote. She doesn't like working from home. She needs like the office setting. So um, it's all dependent on that, really. We've talked about Portland. We've talked about Minneapolis. But at the end of the day, it all depends. I've also thrown out Tulsa. So
It's random. Why Tulsa? They did that remote thing, right?
yeah, they have that like remote offer, and it's also just super fucking cheap. And so I'm kind of like, I can get like a house for less than what I pay for this apartment and just drive my cost of living down so low that like I can retire safely in like less than 10 years.
Have you thought about Vegas?
Adam Englander really wants me to go out there.
I lived there for like a year, and I was constantly amazed at how cheap it was.
Really?
You could get a house or a decent ass place for like good, pretty cheap. There's no income tax. It was
Oh, really?
like very affordable if you don't go to the bar a lot, right? Because like drinks are like $10 a piece or something crazy. But like, I mean, if you're frugal, it can be super cheap.
Yeah. I also looked at like Vancouver, Washington, and doing that whole living in Washington so you have no income tax, shopping in Portland so you have no sales tax, kind of double dipping.
That's not a bad deal. Because I lived in Portland, but like I don't know. One of the big draws to Portland to me was like not needing a car and using the transit and all that, and you lose all that if you live in Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like been one of the driving factors of places where we've been looking to live is like where can we have transit so we could get rid of a car and just be able to walk places because Nashville's not really all that walkable. So if you come to PHP Tech, I can show you how bad it is.
Deal.
Yeah.
There's always it's always Boston.
Isn't Boston like super expensive though?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like you're like right in the middle of the city though, aren't you? Like you're pretty much.
Well, so I'm in South Boston, which is actually like
So you're in Southie.
it's kind of yeah, I'm in South A. It's like the Brooklyn of Boston, right? Like it's not quite in the city. But
Yeah.
Boston's tiny. Like coming from New York, where it would take, easily an hour to get across town to the next place you got to go. Boston's like, it's a 30-minute walk, like
That's not bad.
pretty much across the city.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's pretty easy. Like my big problem here is I have to like constantly talk myself out of taking Ubers to work in the morning when I can just take a bus or a train because it's like so close that it's like, yeah, it's like a 15-minute Uber.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
How long, like, if you're going to take the train, how long does it take you to get to work?
It's so variable. So like if I take the train, it should be about 30 minutes. I've been taking the bus in the mornings because it's less traffic, so the bus is a little faster.
Oh, cool.
But it all depends on like when the bus gets there to pick me up. So it can take somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes usually with the bus.
That's not too bad. So where's the Wayfair office like in relation to like downtown Boston or whatever?
So the office I work at is in Back Bay, which is basically what everyone thinks of when they think of like downtown Boston. It's like right in the middle of everything. But it's not technically downtown. Downtown's a different spot.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real question is like, how long would it take you to get from Wayfair to Fenway Park?
I have not done that. Probably 10 minutes, I would think.
Oh shit, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I went from here to Fenway, the neighborhood, and it was like a 20-minute Uber.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to come up there and watch a game.
Definitely. You are coming in, when is that, June?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I?
You're supposed to.
Don't I owe you an abstract? I think I do.
Yeah. You're supposed to come speak at the meetup.
Yeah. Is Wayfair paying for that?
We'll discuss it.
All right. Well, go ahead and set a Google Flights reminder for flight price.
I'll tell you they will, and then I won't pay you, and it'll be good.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Delete this Venmo request.
Yeah. I mean, if I come up there, I gotta go see my grandparents anyway, so it'll work out.
Oh, they're here?
Yeah. One set is in Newburyport, Salisbury, so that's like, I think it's like an hour's drive north of the city. Which isn't too bad. Like it's Newburyport's like a really small, quaint town. Like has a really cool kind of harbor city feel to it. Like really good seafood if you're into that kind of thing. Then the other set lives in Beverly or Danvers kind of area. I think where that cookie shop is that David sent you.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty close. Like 30-minute drive or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's like right there by Salem, so like where they did the witch trials and all that kind of stuff too. So I remember like as a kid, I'd go up there and like we'd go to the Salem witch tour and like the Salem Witch Museum and all that kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. And then we go into downtown Boston and we did like the USS Constitution, the Science Museum, and all that kind of cool stuff. And then go to a Red Sox game.
That's cool. I'm really looking forward to like exploring around here in the summer because I haven't done a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too cold to do shit right now, really.
That's true.
In the summer, it'll be nice.
I mean, if you're like a big history fan, there's so much history that happened up there, you know. So, like, you have like the Freedom Trail or whatever it is that like starts at Faneuil Hall and does all that like from when the Revolution started, and then you have like the oldest warship on record is in the Boston is in I think it's in Charleston, whatever they call it. So, a big ass wooden ship. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I like going out to Boston. I really like Boston as a city. It's just incredibly expensive to live there. So
yeah, it is. It's cheaper than New York was, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure San Francisco is still probably the worst, and then New York, and then Boston, DC, I think are probably about equal.
Yeah, probably. Seattle wasn't great either, but it was probably less than here. It's been a few years.
I mean, everything I've looked at Portland, it looks like it's comparable to Nashville. So,
yeah, that sounds about right from memory.
Like Dave Ramsey released some sort of like cost of living calculator and pick two different cities, and it'll tell you like how much your salary needs to increase or whatever. So,
that's cool.
For Portland, I was pretty much even. So I was like, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, and then I'll have Kieran's salary as well to, balance things out even more, and then. A walkable city will just save me money from driving and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no driving and no sales tax there, right?
Yeah, and then I fit in with like the rest of the nerds up there with all the bikes and stuff. So
super hipster bike person with your Impossible Burger.
I'm fitting in the mold of Portland, I guess.
I can see it. Actually,
the hippies are calling me. So. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, other than that, now the job is Laravel in Vue.js. And so one really cool thing is we had this dude on our team. He's from Lebanon. So he kind of works odd hours. But this dude's been cranking out Vue.js packages. One of them, like how Laravel has like their form request library or form request classes. Mm-hmm. It has like all the dot notation and all that kind of stuff. He wrote a library for Vue.js to pretty much do the same thing. And and it slots right into the framework super nicely. And then he also wrote a middleware kernel similar to what Laravel does, but for Vue.js, and then you can do like auth and things like that super simply.
That's really cool. Form request in particular is something that like does not get enough love. Like it's a really cool idea that really cleans up your code.
It makes life so much easier. At one of my old jobs, we use that as like straight up API validation coming in. This is before I heard of like Open API and all that kind of stuff. But so anytime we had an endpoint that was accepting data, we just wrote a form request class, and then we just check against every single thing that's supposed to come in. And then Jeff Madsen, who works with us now, like he does some really cool things checking the verb. So if it's a post, we check everything. If it's a put or a patch, then we're only looking for, like, we have it all set up to be conditional based on if the field is set or not. So that way, like, there's no kind of like loophole for a put request to slip through or like a post to just never get accepted. So yeah, I mean, it's we're doing some pretty cool things with Laravel, so it's fun.
Nice. That's
good. So Midwest and then tech. Didn't you say you're going to Berlin too?
Yeah, that's for work. So I'm going to Berlin next month, and then I'm going to take a few days afterwards to explore. So that's nice. Fun. Yeah. I'm just going to fly out for the weekend. We'll look around a bit.
Yeah. You should go to Fulda. Show me where I was born. Send me pictures.
Where is that in relation to Berlin?
It's down by Frankfurt.
Probably not going to do that one.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. It's an hour flight. It's not bad. It is a 5-hour drive.
Okay, that's an investment.
It's a 3-hour train ride. Not bad.
Right. We're debating renting a car and driving up to Auschwitz, just because that would be like a bucket list item to see that, and I'm sure it would be very moving.
There's no direct trains. Oh yeah, today's like the it'd take you 6 hours to get over there.
Yeah, it's definitely a time investment.
Yeah, but it's also kind of one of those things that's worth it to do, especially because I've heard like the buildings are all starting to kind of get old and deteriorate.
Yeah, it's what, on like the border of Germany and Poland or something like that, or in Poland.
No, it's in Poland. None of the death camps were in Germany. All 6 of them were in Poland or Czechoslovakia kind of area. But today is also the day that Auschwitz was liberated. So it's kind of like a yeah. Cool. But I mean, 6-hour drive or so. But yeah, I mean, you get to see also like the countryside and all that kind of stuff too. So it's probably, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it.
Yeah, I would do that.
Figure out the car around situation and all that stuff.
Obviously, you should get a Porsche.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or a VW, or an Audi. I don't know what kind of cars they have over there.
Probably all the German cars.
You should ask for a Lamborghini.
That's not German, is it?
That's Italian. They're like best friends.
So close.
So close, yet so far. Yeah, I mean, and then we reached out to some cool people today too. So like, we got what? How do you say his name? Matthew?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to say his name. So we reached out to Matthew from Breath. With so Breath is the like serverless for PHP, so that should be pretty cool. Haven't heard back yet, but that could be really fun.
He's in France, so he's definitely sleeping.
Yeah. I heard back from Woody Glick today.
Yeah?
He is definitely game, so
cool.
We'll get that scheduled soon.
Oh, yeah. And then we're also going to talk to Rob Allen. So, Rob, if you're listening, say yes. To talk about Slim. And then also Frank, it's definitely not his birthday, De Jong, about Fly System and Event Sauce. Those will be pretty cool. But, I mean, If anyone has any suggestions of people we should talk to, message us on Twitter or something. Because we'd love to talk to cool people and make this a more active thing. So
we're gonna try to keep this a little more regular in 2020. I'm sure we'll fail, but maybe we'll get a couple months out of it at least.
We'll give it the old college effort, and then one of us will find a way to mess it up. Me. I will. Probably me.
I don't know. You're the one that had to do an episode by yourself recently.
It's true. And Dries was such a champ about that. You really couldn't see past the facade of his emotions there.
Oh God, not again. We can't do this again.
All right.
All right, man. It's been fun catching up.
Yeah, it's been great catching up. All right. We'll talk to everyone later.
See y'all.